welcome to the Smoke and Mirrors podcast, your destination for the latest in movie news and reviews. We're your hosts, Rob, Dave, and Triz. So from the top floor to the bottom, from the pavements to the dirt roads, we got brand new episodes for you of Reservation Dogs, Power, Winning Time, and the brand new Lakeith Stanfield show, The Changeling. Now let's start the show. How we living there, big dogs?
You good,
That was
dog?
good, man. I just did a whole lot of new movie watching this weekend. Yeah, I was got in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there. Then watched It Lives Inside.
As did I.
And then watched Babylon, the Damien Chazelle one. And I gotta say, there's been some like shitting on Chazelle for Babylon, but I think he's still 4 for 4, personally. I think there's a big old hate train on the old Chazelle since First Man.
You know, the only Chazelle movie I've ever watched is, what's his face?
Whiplash. For real? La La Land hits, and so does
La La Land.
You watched First Man, though.
Oh, I watched First Man, actually.
Yeah. Them shits was good. Apparently that at IMAX is bufuck.
Mate, why are you going to tell me this? We missed out on all of this. We never get it.
I had it all at IMAX Melbourne, though, for their Space September, I think.
Oh, fuck off.
Showing Interstellar and all the fucking greats. Pisses me off. Get shit together, Sydney IMAX. I've had enough of it.
Fix it.
Right. Oz is good. Oz is still reeling over that upset in the UFC today.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Oh, Strickland. If you bet on that motherfucker, you is a rich dude.
You know what shit, dog, is that? You remember I told you about the $20 bet? If I had put through the $20 bet, I would be $980 richer.
Mate.
I picked all four. I picked all four of the fights, man.
Should have just done it. If your gut said, do it, bet your bottom dollar.
I know. Damn it. It was like 14. I think it was 1282 to 1 or something like that. This would have cleaned the fuck up.
Yeah, you would have. Imagine if you dropped the $200 bet just on the faith. Just on the faith of it all.
How's Drake dropping $500K on Izzy? Some dumb cunt dropped, like, you know, what did Greg say? Like $12,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
Only to win in the US like $32,000. Like it was like $200,000 only to win $32,000. So the payback wasn't that much.
Nah, not at all. Jesus. Was it a bad beat? Because I didn't watch the fight. Was it a bad beat, or did it come to decision?
It came to decision, but the decision was clear. Izzy just didn't look like Izzy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He was slow. He just wasn't into it, it didn't seem like. It seemed like there was some other shit going on. He also looked very gaunt going in there.
Did he have to drop weight for this fight or not?
He always has to drop weight. He walks around at like close to 200.
It'd be interesting because we're going to get that screener for Stylebender soon. All right, so it'd be interesting to sort of see, because that was in the lead up to a lot of these fights last 5 years.
I suppose maybe he's doing too much. Maybe he fought too much this year. I mean, he's fought nearly 4 times this year already. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just too much.
Yeah. And the promo this week for the movie, like, he was scheduled to be in screenings and stuff like that. So maybe he was just like a bit tired and sort of put off and like not in the headspace where he needs to be. They did cancel some of those screenings though in Para.
Oh, good.
So that he could just, I'm assuming, so that he could just focus on the fight. But
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. What's his face? His coach came through and said in the press conference, "Look, you know, we asked them if we could fight tomorrow because tomorrow it'll be a different outcome compared to tonight." Like, he said that he just doesn't think that he was there.
Yeah.
Like, he said there was such a disconnect between the messaging that they were giving him in the corner after a round and then what he executed in the next round. Like, it just wasn't matching up. So I don't know, man. Maybe he just wasn't there. Maybe he was tired.
Yeah, maybe. Better luck next time. I was going to get another shot or whatever.
Oh,
It's always
man.
good
Oh,
as well to
100%.
return, like Strickland versus
Oh,
Adesanya
man.
2.
You make so much money on the rematch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes you think it's like a little bit staged. You know what I mean? Like he threw the fight. I don't want to believe it, but it's like almost like if he threw the fight just to get the next.
Like Rocky 3.
Yeah, that sort of payback. Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
We get
double
that,
my money.
get that Conor McGregor moment when he fights Diaz again, but you see him walking through that garage after he shaved his head and he's just looking tank as fuck. Fucking hell.
Connor was talking shit about it. As soon as he saw Volkanovski on screen, he started talking shit on Twitter. It was fucking hilarious.
Does that have a hard on for Volkanovski?
Yeah, Connor will fight anyone right now. He just wants to be back. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Reservation Dogs, episode 7. Last week focused on the uncles helping Cheese. This week was an episode based around Rita, who's Bear's mom. So Bear is the guy that sees this Native American guy. He's like a spirit guide, and he sees him. But for Bear's mom, Rita, she's just been visited by an old friend who's Laura Dannon's mom, who passed away, and she's freaking the fuck out. But you realize that there's something that might be running in the family there, where they see spirits, because this spirit also says to her, like, you know, there's only some families that will actually see spirit guides. This was about honoring your sort of family and their kids, and making sure that they're all right, and that the spirit visiting you isn't the prompt that you need to actually go out and reach out to your family, but to like, you should be doing that anyways. So, like, properly honoring Cookie, who was her name. It might be time for another family slang moment. I don't know. Is cookies widely used? I think around all South Africans, or
Yeah, cookie, cook, both.
which is a slang for a woman's vagina. But yeah, the story in the episode is she goes out to visit Laura Dannon, and her mum's there in spirit form, and it's almost like that Heart and Souls Robert Downey Jr., where like she's sort of asking questions to give a response to Laura Dannon's mum. And it was really, really heartfelt, but you see the pride and whatnot from Cookie, because her daughter is thinking about bigger things other than staying on the reservation, and she wants to go out there and be successful and stuff. And all of this is sort of prompted by Rita getting a promotion at work. So it's almost like on the edge of sort of monetary gain and greater success. There's this idea that you come back and you take care of the things that are in your control before you attain like this massive success, or on the road to success. And the episode ends with Rita and sort of the childhood friends that was around with Cookie, actually giving her a proper send off in one of her favorite spots. So it was good. It was a really heartfelt episode. It was funny as well. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. But again, like, these episodes are so disconnected. Like, we're on episode 7, 3 episodes left, and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere narratively to a head. I don't mind if it doesn't do it, but it just feels like it's disconnected in that it's just telling like stories. Yeah, good episode.
All right. So the second episode of Power starts really, really strong. So it starts with the investigation of the murder of Chewie. So Chewie was a CBI boy, part of Tommy and Diamond's crew. They find out that he flipped over and went to treason, which is headed by Diamond's brother's crew, so they got beef now. So Tommy, at the end of the last episode, kills him. And then now they have to deal with it. This sort of prompts the investigation with the FBI looking into Tommy further. They're trying to set up a task force now, all that sort of stuff. We also get to see that there's beef between the Mexicans who get their drugs via the cartel and the, what are they? Some Slavic region.
Balkan.
Yeah, one of them Slavic regions, right? Because they were also promised turf by Diamond's brother in treason, and they obviously didn't give it up because Tommy took over them streets, right? So there's a massive shootout between those guys and the Mexican guys. Tommy's there. He gets shot, gets patched together by the love interest for the season, which is the head guy's sister. The head guy obviously wants to fucking retaliate straight away, talks to his abuela. What's his face? She tells him, you need to go talk to the cartel first, right? Goes to the cartel guys. Cartel guys is like, hey, we don't want to start war here with the Slavs. You need to basically get in line, or else I'm going to, kill your sister and do all sorts of SA stuff to her and then pass her on to my boys and they'll have a go too. Right? So this Mexican guy is just, he's falling in line, but he's pissed off. But before that, Tommy and them get the, they overhear where the drop for the next drop's going to be for drugs. Tommy's like, fuck it, I want to take over these streets. We'll deal with the cartel later. He robs the Mexicans. And then steals their drugs, plants some Slavic guys there that he killed beforehand, makes it look like it was the Slavic guys, and now they're obviously going to go to war with the Slavic guys. It's smart, because they kill each other and then they take over.
Yeah.
And they get true power. On the Flanagan front, which is the Irish mob, it looks like what's-his-face is trying to play his daughter and his son against each other, the father. He originally promised the daughter that she would run their new drugs and all that sort of stuff. Basically goes to the son. Son says, yeah, he'll do it as long as the daughter's not in the business. She gets pissed off. Find out later that he is trying to take down the Irish mob from the inside, because the father killed his missus because she was black. And he's a big old racist. Yeah. So, yeah, the shits is cooking, man. 2 episodes in is cooking.
Do you reckon Tommy's turning into Ghost?
Oh, yeah. He is Ghost. Originally, they thought he was Ghost. Remember in New York, they thought Tommy was Ghost the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's white.
Because it feels like he's making a lot of moves that Ghost would have done, all that shady shit with the killing people without telling anyone and shit like that.
Yeah, Ghost is smart like that, man.
Yeah.
Is Ghost dead?
You want to know?
Yeah.
You ever going to watch Power?
I probably will, but I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, so
spoilers for the audience.
Yeah, the last episode of Power, the Ghost's son kills him.
Damn.
Yeah, it's Tariq.
It's cold as fuck.
Yeah, man.
That's why there was all them IG videos of people just going off at Tariq in real life.
What that over in the elevator?
Yeah. Why'd you do it?
That's fuck. Can you imagine signing up?
It's a character, B. It's a character.
Is that what that said?
Yeah.
Fuck it, hell. Can you imagine getting pressed in real life for shit you did in a movie?
Man.
Or show?
I can only imagine what those that killed Ricky copped up to that.
Oh, man.
Or the Upham in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, but I still want to fuck Upham up.
Badly.
He's on the list.
He's on the list. I always thought that O was Henry Thomas, but it is not. It is fucking Boulder from God of War. That's who
Yeah.
Upham is.
Yeah. It's not Elliot from E.T.
No. Yeah.
Elliot. What a fucking name this guy.
Fucking
this guy, Elliot.
how funny does that O look in Saving Private Ryan compared to like the Black Phone as well, with that dirty, just like hillbilly mullet that he's got?
Yeah. Fucking hell, that was a dirty fucking hairstyle.
Yeah.
This guy's a cat. Elliot is in What's His Face.
It's in all them Mike Flanagan numbers.
Yeah.
That's
He's
it.
in
Yeah.
there. All right. So Winning Time, episode 5, fire episode. What's his face? No pun. What's his face? So this deals with the backlash of Magic saying that he wants to leave.
Yeah.
Right? So what's his face? They jump in the bus. What's his face? Jason Segel's taking it really easy, like he doesn't fucking care. He thinks he's got the upper fucking hand, and he's just being real easy breezy about it. Until he realizes that he doesn't have the fucking upper hand, and that magic is magic, right? He gets Magic. Both of them get called into the office. Magic obviously gets there first. He gets there through the back way, so that nobody will see him, so he can go talk to Dr. Bus. And Dr. Bus basically says, you know, I made you the highest paid athlete in the world. You know what I mean? And you turn around and you stab me in the back. And Magic's like, what do you mean? I earned that. You know what I mean? I earned that. I got you a trophy. I got you what you wanted. And you got exactly what you wanted from me. You're supposed to be, you told me that we're family, and you were acting like my father. So act like my father now. Right? And Dr. Bus like takes all of that on hand, starts talking to Paul, which is Jason Segel's character. And what's his face? He's trying to play it off like, you know, he can actually work with Magic now and everything, and that he made a mistake and everything. And Bus was like, I need what's his face? I need you to pack your shit and go, basically. Yeah. And then in this process, you still have what's his face there, Pat Riley there. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He's still waiting to get called into the office. He doesn't know what's going to happen with his position. What's his face is there, Jerry West. So if you ever see the logo for the NBA, you know that O like dribbling, that's Jerry West. What's his face? He was a Laker. Got beat by the Celtics like 5 or 6 times, and he fucking hates them, right? So Jerry West is in the office. So is the team manager, and they're talking with Bus about who they're going to get as a coach. Bus like has no idea what's going to happen now. He wants Jerry West to be the coach of the Lakers going forward. Jerry West originally was the coach of the Lakers. They never won. They always got to the finals and then just never won. What's his face? Jerry West wants Pat Riley, right? So they're arguing about it. They don't even know what's going to happen. Pat gets like, you know, called in by Jerry West and the what's his face and the GM. He gets pulled into an elevator, and he's like, I thought we were going to go see Dr. Bus. And he's like, yeah, we're going in there right now. He was like, are you camera ready? And he's like, no fucking way. He's not going to fucking shit me on live TV. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They get up there and they basically do a shot for shot of the press conference, right? So this actually really happened. Yeah, so the stuff that they're saying is real. I've seen this press conference. What's his face? And Dr. Bus is like, you know, basically saying that Jerry West is the coach, and Jerry West is saying that Pat Riley is the coach. They just had no fucking idea. And they were asking him, like, you know, is it going to be like football where there's an offensive coach and a defensive coach, and like who's going to make the calls and everything? But then sort of Pat like sort of steps up and smooths it all out and everything. And like that first game out, he gets to go coach the team. The first game out, they win. They absolutely massacre this team like they should, right? Because they were barely winning with teams that they should have been absolutely obliterating, and that was the whole thing with Magic. And now Riles is back, and the guys are sort of, taking advantage, and they're starting to lose, and everything's slipping. And what's his face? He gets called into the office with Boss, and Boss is like, "What I need from this team is a family. I need you to make them a family. I need stability." And he's like, "Can you do that?" And Riles is like, "Of course." And he's like, "Do you want to do it?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." Right? So Riles' father was he was a coach as well. And he got to coach for like a month and then got shit canned and then just never got back into it. And he basically saw his father drink himself to death.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he always, whenever he's looking in the mirror, he sees his father. He'll see him behind him and everything. And this is all going through his head and whatnot. And he's talking to his wife about it because the guys don't respect him and everything. And he just fucking snaps. He's trying to call them all together before the game. They're all trying to make plans for after the game and all that sort of stuff, not thinking about the game. And he just fucking snaps. And he just fucking punches a hole through the fucking blackboard. And fucking goes off at all of them, even the captain, which is Kareem.
Oh.
And that Pat Riley energy is fucking born from there. Yeah, it was fucking mad, and that's where it sort of fucking ended. It didn't end there. Like it ended with what's his face? Who are they? Detroit Pistons, I think. No, not the Pistons. I think the Rockets, because that's where Dr. J was, Julius Erving. The Rockets beating, unfortunately, the Celtics in the final. So the Lakers won't get to see them in the finals this time, and they beat them at what's his face in Boston.
Oh shit.
And instead of the crowds yelling like, fuck Houston, it was beat LA is what they're yelling in what's his face? In Boston. The whole crowd, all they were yelling was beat LA.
That's a different sort of hate.
Oh, but it's mad because you see it from the point of view of the players because they're all at Dr. Boss's wedding and they're watching it on the TV and they're all standing there. Every single player's watching that TV and you just hear beat LA. And then they just look up, direct all of them at the camera and they're just like, fuck Boston. And that's where the episode ends. But yeah, man, this shit was really good.
I gotta get on this, man.
This
I do. I feel like it's like that Ted Lasso sort of energy.
Yeah.
Where I was like, it almost seems anti-Ted Lasso because Ted was almost like, he was really calm and whatnot. He never sort of got crazy like Pat Riley.
Yeah.
But it feels like that sort of story, though.
Mm.
And as we'll get in before I have to be like, it's 4 seasons in, mate.
When are you going to leave?
How fucking bad. Alright. So I was quite like just coincidentally off the Monarch trailer.
Right there, God?
Jesus. Yeah.
That's how good the show was.
Yeah. You hit the shit.
Damn. It's almost like what's his fucking name? Bass Reeves. Wide Eye. What's his name? Bass Reeves in The Harder They Fall. I want to say Jaimin, but it's not.
Jaimin do got some wide eyes, though.
And it's like the... Say it then. Say it.
Bass Reeves.
Anyways. But it's his character in Devil's Advocate. That's what I was thinking of when I was coughing, because you know how he does the voodoo in there?
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo, that's his name,
My man.
And he like nails the cow's tongue and then can't speak while he's on the stand.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
that was a long fucking time just to get to that reference, but so I was like weirdly, coincidentally, stumbled on Changeling as it was released.
Mm.
I think I was on the toilet or something watching the Warlock trailer. And then like seeing the Changeling trailer afterwards and checked it out. And it seemed like this weird balance of fucking, like, they call it a fairy tale.
Mm.
But it's like there's brutality in there, and there's like a romance, and there's fantastical elements, and there's horror, and all sorts of different, and comedy, and just like all these elements in the show.
Mm.
So I just checked it out. 3 episodes from Apple. First one, First Comes Love. The next episode was Then Comes Baby in a Carriage, and then the next episode, third episode, was Asterisk. And I was just like, that's a fucking wild, like, sort of preface and run up for the episode. So I just checked it out. And fair enough, it's the show about this guy, Lakeith Stanfield plays, called Apollo, and he's after this chick, Emmy, played by Clark Bacco. She's like a librarian assistant. He's almost like a sort of a rare antiquities finder and reseller.
Mm.
Anyways, he
Like Johnny
pursues her.
Depp in The Ninth Gate.
Yeah, that's what I was just kind of feeling. That sort of like that getting into some shit. But yeah, so he's persistent on getting a date with this chick and kind of getting to know her and whatnot. And in that moment, because it starts at 2002, and then it's like, in that moment, it flashes back to when his father pursued his mom.
Hmm.
So his father, white guy, parole officer, goes after this guy at this office, right? Because he thinks he's doing some shady shit, and the guy's out on parole, so he's checking in on him and whatnot. His mom's the secretary. She's like, she's from Africa.
Hmm.
And she's just trying to hold down the job because she's got to pay the bills and whatnot. But he persistently asks her for like, I think it's like 5 to 7 years. Yeah, and they actually say in the show, like, some people call it stalking, but my father called it persistence. So anyways, he does the same thing with Emmy. Lakeith Stanfield's character, Apollo, does the same thing as Emmy. It's funny because in the show, he's named Apollo because his father and mother go see Rocky. And then the father's like, would it be weird to call a black kid Rocky? And the mother's like, it wouldn't be weird to call him Apollo. So they name him Apollo. But the father says it's like, the god Apollo. So weird. But yeah, so they get together. Lakeith and Clark Bacco's characters get together, and then Clark Bacco goes, I've got a trip to Brazil that I want to go. I'm going to move there. I don't know when I'm going to be back. So she goes, and on this trip, right, she encounters this woman by this lake that she's not supposed to even be around. Like the family that she's staying with tells her not to go, but she goes. And this woman says, I'm going to tie this around your wrist. You get 3 wishes if that ever gets cut off. And she makes 3 knots, and she's got to basically wish the things in her mind. By the time she ties the 3 knots, she does. Then Apollo, just like, because he's broken, he's sort of hit with all these dreams and whatnot that he's had since he was a kid of his father coming to the house while his mom was at work, because his mom had to go to work on all these Saturdays, and she would leave her 4-year-old child alone for like 4 hours, which is just wild.
Jesus.
But that would have been shit that was done back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, he has this recurring dream, and it's like these nightmares. But one night he wakes up and he gets this text from Emmy saying that she's coming back, and she'd like to sort of get back in contact with him. Anyways, he meets her at the airport and whatnot, and then they go to breakfast. This dumb motherfucker cuts the thing. He's like, I am the god Apollo, which is like his saying. And he cuts the string, and then it sort of it starts these fucking events happening. So they fall in love, they get married, obviously. Then they Like, there's a big old sex scene in this as well. This is like, Keith got some rhythm, I'll tell you that much. His stroke game is
Jesus.
A1.
Half the dude was in those rooms, those men's moaning rooms. I was just like, I don't know about this.
What is that? It was a men's moaning room.
That they were on what's his face on Twitter. Remember, you know how Twitter's got that thing where you can just like open a room and just start talking. One of the rooms was men moaning.
What the
Hey,
fuck?
yo.
Yeah,
I'm not comfortable moaning at the best of times. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It's a bit weird. I don't have like loud moans on it.
I know it did,
Just
and
to
it was
have a fucking room
disgusting.
is wild.
They recorded that shit. It was wild.
Oh, maybe he was practicing for this role.
Maybe.
But yeah, then they find out they're pregnant, and you kind of see Apollo, because he kind of says the thing that he wants to be is a husband and a father. That's the thing that he wants most in the world. And so that's the same thing that his father said. And then he cracks open this book called From the Something to the Wild, which is this book about fairies. And I think this is where the title comes into place, Changeling. So I don't know if you guys know about the lore of fairies and the Changeling. So I believe it started in Ireland, because I listened to this episode of Lore where they talked about it. And the lore is that a fairy will see a baby, and a baby is dreams in the flesh, and a fairy feeds on dreams, right? So what they do is they take the baby and they replace them with a form of a baby that's not actually the kid. It's basically on autopilot, and it does whatever. And then it takes your actual child to another world, to the fairy world. And there's been accounts way back through the years, but it's always something that Irish folktales sort of talk about. That's why the saying is, you're off with the fairies. And you're like, yeah. So Emmy starts going batshit fucking crazy, and they talk about it in the episode almost like it's sleep deprivation, where at 2 days you start experiencing this, at 1 month you start experiencing this, at 6 months you start experiencing this, because this kid won't sleep, won't eat, but then one day just like switches and changes, right? And the problem then doesn't sit with that child. It sits with Apollo, who's having these nightmares at night, recurring again, and it's keeping everyone up. And he's kind of like, he's in this world where he's just doing what he needs to do for the kid, and he kind of expects Emmy to do her thing and just function as per normal. And things really go off the rails at 6 months, where she goes to this house and she's going to chain Apollo up, and she actually gets chains. Like, it's like this Craigslist thing. She gets like these heavy ass fucking chains, and the camera actually does this thing where it actually goes upside down, almost like Cape Fear, and then it just turns upside down like that. And from that moment on, it goes into this fucking brutal like scene where she's basically got him chained up. She beats him, leaves him to death, and then she's got the kettle heating on the stove, and she walks into the baby's room, and thankfully they don't show anything the fuck else after that. Because the rest of the episode and a half is Apollo kind of picking the pieces up again after that event. So he, after that, he's mourning the death of his wife and his son because they disappear. And then he gets a shotgun and goes into the library where she used to work, and he's looking for answers, and he's like shooting out windows and shit like that. He's just going fucking crazy. Like that, and that's basically the episode. It ends where he's he's kind of chilling with his friend Malcolm Barrett. And we've seen Malcolm Barrett in a lot of shit before. He plays the so-called Patrice. But Patrice is an O that used to be in the military. He went away on tours and whatnot. But Apollo always treated him normal. Didn't ever treat him like he was a vet and how many people did you kill and ask those sort of questions that would then put them back into like PTSD and experience those things again, that trauma. And he like this has the most comedic moments. Like there's like Apollo's carrying his son in this Ford carrier, and this woman's like, "Your son's much too young for that. That's going to cause hip dysplasia." And then this Malcolm Barrett is like, "Fuck offie." And she's like, "What? Would you like some fuck offie? It's like coffee, but you just shut the fuck up." And the chick's like, oh, like walks away. But yeah, him and Lakeith have like a really good sort of back and forth as well in the show. It's Apple, so the production values is way up.
Through the roof.
Performances are great. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty solid. There's something about Lakeith in this role, so I like him more in the Darius sort of cool, got my shit, like sort of composed sort of vibe. Him as an anxious kind of guy, I don't know, it's almost like his tone of voice and his eyes betray the performance. Whereas when he's more laid back, he's so effective in like Get Out and shit. Whereas this, it just felt different. Yeah. But I'm invested in the show. I need to know what happens because at the end of that third episode, the asterisk is so important. The asterisk means that basically at the end of the episode, they're reading through this book and you find out in that third episode, I think, what her 3 wishes was. And one of them was a loving husband. The second was a child. Third was basically she wants to become a witch.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think she's after power, this Emmy. So I don't know if shit is just going to go off the fucking rails even more, but apparently he's supposed to go through and try find his wife and son in another world. Because at the end of this episode, he alludes to not 3 wishes, 3 witches.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just like, fuck, this is like getting exciting. You know what I mean? You got me for the full 8. Pause.
The whole world.
Never ever say that to anyone.
Sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It like even with the shit that I just said, right? And it's like spoiler. But I think the execution of it is really good. It was just I was in, and they play Minnie Riperton's LaFleur in there. Ring all the bells and plays at the end of Us, plays in an episode of Atlanta as well, and it just fucking hits. It's just good, man.
The plot sounds very reminiscent to Resident Evil 8 as well. When I heard it, yeah,
really,
yeah. But that has a previous fucking story prior to getting to
yeah. Yeah, that's a wrap. That is a fucking wrap. Nice little quick one before we get into It Lives Inside this Wednesday.
Yes.
Thursday, sorry.
Thursday.
Fucking hell. Thursday. Fucking hell. I was going to stop saying Wednesday. I was changed schedule for 1 week. Fucked it all up. Yeah, we'll be back then. Check us out. Follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, YouTube. Give us a like and a follow. Subscribe, what all that stuff is. Just helps us get into more spaces and get that content, bring it back to you. And yeah, love yourself, love movies.
Vape more, smoke less, and wash your ass.